Right. It's been what, three twabs in a row where it's just been super light. Oh, yeah. Mhm. Thank God. Galley's getting nerfed too. But yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mhm. Yep. Mhm. Right. Impact. Mhm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm, mm. There you go. Yeah. Sniper says he can't hear Xcalion. Mm-mm. So Legend's been talking. Oh, Xcalion's been here talking for like a little while now, man. Is it just recently that you haven't been able to hear him, or the whole time? Have I just been sitting going, yes, agreed. I could see that to myself because that would be super embarrassing. Well, while he's fixing that, basically
Yeah,
Legend was going over. There's not many buffs or anything going on in the last like 3 or 4 twabs. So we're gonna do things a little bit differently today. But he was explaining like Galley kind of got a nerf and a buff. I got a nerf towards PvP stuff and to Gambit, because it's definitely just a great choice no matter what you're doing, invading and or doing damage to the boss. The whole time Sniper says I've been here for the last 3 minutes. So
can you
yeah.
hear me now? Sam, can you still hear me?
Oh, I can hear you the whole time.
Okay. Yeah, if you can let me know. Can you hear me now? And if you let me know that, then I think we'll be good. I might have got it fixed, but let me see.
I can hear you on my end on my machine that I'm watching it on. Up, Sniper says yes. He can hear you
Perfect.
now.
Okay, great. All right. Very good.
Cool.
Very good. Um,
Yeah.
yes. So yes, was ready to had the computer up and running to go last week. Hit stream and it crashed my whole rig, fried one of my
Hmm.
RAM sticks, uh, and like I got super pissed. Uh, like really mad. The wife came in. She's just like, "Hey, we promised the kids we'd go swimming. Let's just go do that." So that's what we did.
There you go.
Yeah, sorry I didn't let you guys know at the last minute, but we're here now. We got it going, and as
Hmm.
we said before, it's been just weeks of seriously light twabs.
It's been a drought, really.
Yeah, it's been a drought, both figuratively and literally here in the state of
Yeah.
Texas.
Oof.
So, yeah, so we're here. We're gonna do something a little bit different this time. Um, Basically, we're just gonna do some questions, right? So,
Yeah.
no real twab this week. So, just gonna ask each other some questions about the game, of course.
Yeah. Legend and I have a different perspective on the game based on where we sit playing it wise. So, for instance, Legend's been playing the game pretty consistently this whole time. I've had a lot of family stuff come up recently, and I actually have more family stuff going on the rest of this month. So there's actually I won't be here next week or the final week of the month. Just some personal stuff I have to take care of. But that being said, I haven't had a lot of time to play games. I've kept up with the story with Destiny, but otherwise I haven't even finished the season pass yet. I think I'm level like 67, 68, almost to nice, but I just haven't had the time to play. But from that perspective, I play a lot more PvE than Legend plays. So these questions are going to be a little more tailored to like how we perceive the game, and these are just our opinions at all. Like, this isn't concrete like stuff for Destiny. It's, how we feel about these questions. Something else we're going to do is we're going to post these questions in the Discord after the video is over. So if you guys want to kind of answer them along with us, or just even post and see whatever the conversation's going on in Discord. So
what we'll do is we'll each take turns asking the questions. And yeah, so I want to start though, before we start asking the questions, I want to ask the all-important question. Sam, have you played this week? And if so, how's your reset been?
No, I have not played this week. I hopped on today when you were running your pinnacles, and we chatted for a minute, but then my son got up and I had to go take care of him. So I got on, bought some stuff in the Bright Dust store because I try to collect the shaders, and I've been trying to get the universal ornaments when I can pick them up. But I have not played at all this week, and I really need to. I need to get my pinnacles together, and I need to get that rest of that story done.
GMs.
I would love to do GMs, but I'm 10 light under.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest drawback right now. They'll love this game and still want to keep playing this game. I've just, family takes priority first. This is a game second, so. But.
Yeah, it's been good. My week started off. My pinnacles this week are finally starting to drop at 1570.
There you go.
Pinnacle cap, yeah. And
oh wait, 1570.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Mine's at 1565 is what my gear's starting to drop at.
So it's going extremely well.
Good.
And we did a bunch of pinnacles today. Sniper here, he actually got on. We were supposed to raid last night. I'm not gonna go into details, but one of our clan members, very unfortunate, something happened within his family. And he was the one we were setting the raid up for, and we ended up not doing it. No more details than that. Yeah. But we ended up we started the raid, and then we just kind of got out, and then Erzin, Sniper, one of my friends Stoka, who might be joining the clan very soon, we just went and played PvP. Just had a great time. Just steamrolling in PvP. So
nice.
I did my Crucible Pinnacle early on in the week, of course, because reasons.
Yep.
And then today was good. I also did my Vanguard Strikes Pinnacle because that one was pretty easy.
True.
Did it on a solar day. We started off today by doing the
dungeon.
The Prophecy Dungeon. Dungeon's
Pinnacle.
Pinnacle.
Prophecy. That's right. That's this week, yeah.
Prophecy's Pinnacle. So we went through and did that. Easy strike.
Oh, yeah. Easy run.
And then once we got it, we did that with two of us. And then whenever we had a third person, we went in and did the Duality Dungeon, got that pinnacle. And then Dirty was like, I don't know what other pinnacles I have. And I was like, dude, 100k
Gambit?
100k.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
No,
so
Gambit,
that's 5.
Gambit can, no.
It's a mixture of both things. You think you would enjoy it?
maybe, and maybe I stole it. Maybe I'll do
The
it
eye roll.
tomorrow.
You can hear that eye roll.
Right. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. But
I
yeah,
mean, it's not that bad.
no, it's
And all
not.
things considered, Gambit has it's definitely a lot better than what it used to be. But I mean, they're them trying to stretch it out to the length of a strike needs to stop.
Right,
Okay,
right. They do.
let me either steamroll or get steamrolled. Okay,
Like
that's all we need to happen.
8 minutes is fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
I will say this. Now we did
Mhm.
today. It's this week is proving grounds for Nightfall and GM. Of course,
Yeah.
with you can do all of the GMs right off the rip. So
Yeah.
that's cool. This week is proving grounds, and as you all may remember, proving grounds used to be exorbitantly.
It was the
difficult.
worst.
It was
The worst.
And we went in and they were just like 100K, so we can just do like the legend.
Up there with
And-
corrupted. Yeah.
And other than the corrupted. And I said, heck no, we're not just doing legend, we're gonna do the master. And they're like, what? Why? Why? It was like, because ascendant shards. And then Dirty, he was like, I got 4 ascendant shards by the time we were done. He's like, but at first he was like, we can't do this on master. So
Yep.
I was like, we're doing this on master, it's easy. I'm gonna be real with you guys for a second. And I know I'm kind of rambling here, but again, not much to talk about, so here we go. Skyburner's Oath is amazing right now. It's
I got a huge buff at the beginning of the season.
Got a huge buff. So good.
Oh yeah.
For Unstoppable right this season because of the Unstoppable Scout Rifle. But whenever you hip fire with Skyburner's Oath, it adds stacks of Scorch. Okay? And it's full auto. And I can't begin to tell you. So after 9 stacks of Scorch, the targets ignite. And that's by itself. You don't even have to be on a solar subclass for it to do this. It does it on its own. With a solar subclass, with Solar 3.0, it is borderline broken. I am talking on Masters, and I am clearing red bar ads. Like, they are nothing.
That's awesome.
It's so good.
Well, yeah, all the exotics got like a 33% buff towards red bar enemies.
Yeah, kinetic exotic weapons got their own little buff. Yeah.
Well, no, that's not kinetic. That's solar.
Oh, that's just the solar one. Right. Solar with it. So
yeah.
Yeah.
It's primary weapons only. It's not energy or heavy. It's primary weapon ammo. All got 33% buff.
So
that's great.
Yeah, and I love it. And,
to dust that off.
I sent you that the other day. It pairs extremely well with the Dawn Course. Got a rework this season too. Basically,
because that helmet needed help.
Well,
it needed help.
It got it in a big way. Basically,
it was
Scorch. If you're a warlock wearing Dawn Chorus, your Scorch damage does more. So,
yeah. And back when that helmet first came out, it was very niche, and it was really, really good for speed running standard strikes. It was not viable for anything beyond that. People with heavier armor or more challenging enemies. It just wasn't practical. You would take something else in because you either need the heal or the more damage.
Right.
Scorch wasn't a thing. This has changed the game for that. It's actually really nice.
Yeah. And Classy Restoration has made it. You remember the tank room on Proving Grounds, and that was the spot where everybody felt like they needed. You remember we used to run double Titans, double Ursa Furiosas, and a Kamehameha Warlock, right? Because that was the best, like one of the best damage supers there was for a while. And dude, and we started the strike and Dirty running his Titan. He was like, "Oh man, I didn't change to Ursas," and I was like, "Bro, you're fine. Just calm down. Yeah. Everything's fine. We're good." We get into the room, and the guy that ran it with us, he was a little bit lower level than us, and he was having some issues staying alive there for a while. But he ran Omni Oculus, so he could go invisible if one of us went down. But the bigger thing was, like, if I started to get low, I just dodge, activate Classy Restoration, and it doesn't matter if I'm in front of 2 or 3 champions. I'm staying alive, no problem. So I decided to pair all of that with Aeons so I could get the finishers because it just didn't matter.
That's wonderful.
It worked out real well. So I'm excited to do GMs whenever we can. I'm there. I'm at the level now. So can't wait for you guys to get there.
If I can hop on tonight and we'll run some stuff.
Yeah, grind it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, anything else before we get into this?
No, not really. a little bit of pre-context beforehand. Legend and I were talking about getting into this TWAB today, and we looked in like this is super light. It's not going to really be a show. Um, so we came up with the idea of asking these 10 questions. If by if you guys have questions as well, fire them off in the comments, and we can both give
Always.
our our unique perspective on things just from how we play the game. And same with in our Discord as well. If you have questions or something that you think would be interesting to ask us, ask away. But all that being said, no, I think we're good. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
You go first.
Want to flip a coin? All right, all right. So we're gonna start off with a real simple one, and then we'll progressively get into more thought-provoking ones. All right. So if you could bring one gun back into the game, what would it be? And it could be from Destiny 1, it could be a gun from previous seasons, it could be whatever. If you could bring a gun back, what would it be?
That's easy.
Mm-hmm.
And that is my. Oh my God! Did I forget the name of it? No.
Blast Furnace.
Blast Furnace was great. No, but from Destiny 1,
Okay.
my eye. It was my trials weapon. My scout rifle.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about, but I do not remember the name. He's gonna look it up now.
One second, everybody, please. I'm gonna feel so dumb whenever
Yeah.
what? No, I can hold on. I can just open up dim and
Yeah,
switch over to
mm-hmm. Destiny 1.
Destiny 1, and it'll be
Yep.
equipped on my character. Boom, D1. Loading.
Do do do
It's
do
it's
do do do
it's Destiny 1, so it's
do
having a hard time.
do 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 do
Unable to load my stuff. What the heck?
do
Okay.
do
Well, that's annoying.
Yeah. Watch, I'm gonna look it up right here while you're trying to log into that. Destiny.
Burning Eye.
Burning Eye. There it
Burning Eye.
is.
Yep. Burning Eye.
All right.
I'm sorry about the long wait, everybody.
Yes.
It's I knew it was I something, and then there it is.
So that would be the weapon you bring
it's
back.
it's literally equipped on my hunter right now. So
Yeah.
yeah. Oh God.
So that being the weapon you'd bring back, how would you? This is part of the same question. How would you make it a meta choice for the current sandbox?
So I don't know that it necessarily. It's already the gun itself is pretty darn meta, and I'll tell you why. It's got a very unique perk on it that used to exist on random legendary weapons, but it's called Third Eye. And Third Eye is basically Mida radar,
Yeah.
and whatever the other one is for Ace of Spades. But
Yeah, whenever you're aiming down the sights, the radar stays up.
exactly.
But I think Ace got a buff where it's like it's an enhanced radar when it stays up.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
so a legendary weapon that had the radar up, that was a scout rifle, that would be a precision frame scout rifle at this point in time, and it had explosive rounds on it, and you could switch off the triple tap and put on Zen Moment. It was just everything that I loved, and with the explosive rounds, that was the best way in Destiny 1 to flinch anybody. It was super sexy. I mean, super sexy.
Yeah.
It looked, all those Trials weapons look good. They look, I mean, I don't mind some of the Trials weapons now, but they're a far shot from what we had before. Bloodbane says he's here. Here.
Well, here. I think he was talking about the perk for the gun.
He's talking about the perk for the gun. But I'm glad you're here. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so that was. What do you think? Valid first question.
Valid.
Kind of something interesting. Valid. All right. Cool.
Yep.
They get harder from here.
Including Destiny 1 and Destiny 2, what is your favorite strike and why?
Ooh, strike. Gosh, that's a good one. Ballast to Arc will always hold a special place in my heart, just because that's the one that you played relentlessly when when it was during the demo because that was the only strike you could do.
Mm-hmm.
So I have that whole thing in my head. I can hear Zavala's voice right now talking about, but eat the ruins of the Cosmotron. And it's just, that was the only thing you could do because you could get up to level 7 and then you were stuck there. You got gear beyond it, but like that was the only thing you could do. So you just grinded that for a day and a half.
Oh yeah.
So that one holds a special place in my heart. Obviously, the meme choice is the one where Zavala talks about whether we wanted it or not, slip into a war with the Cabal on Mars. That's a good meme one. As far as like actual favorite strike, it has to be the Dark Blade, where you're on the Dreadnought and you're going into this dungeon cell to go find this guy who tried to overthrow Oryx, and that was the first time that swords were kind of introduced into the game. Well, I say kind of. They were introduced into the game, and I remember very distinctively I had the weekend off from work, and I got to grind all of that storyline out, and I was the first one of our friends to get the exotic sword, and I loved it. I ran that strike so many times getting everybody their swords.
Oh yeah.
So to me, that one is definitely by far my favorite. It holds that special place in my heart just from the sheer wow factor of getting to hold the arc blade in my hand that I could throw those discs with. That by far has been my favorite sword. And honestly, that spirit of that sword lives on in
Boltcaster? Is that what it was?
no, my Dark Talon.
Dark Talon, okay.
Because it's the same motions as the Boltcaster.
Mm-hmm.
The Boltcaster, you could do the, just throw it real quickly, and you can throw multiples, and they were smaller. It's very reminiscent of the Dark Talon. I think that's like a spiritual successor to that one.
Yeah.
But to me, that one, that will always be my favorite for that reason.
It's a good one.
But yeah.
It's a good one.
So yeah.
Bloodbane says he just woke up and he says, "Oh yeah, love that one."
That was a good one.
Oh,
honestly,
yeah. That's a good one.
The ones with the 3 little scions with the
Oh,
cool
yeah.
that was a great one from Destiny 1.
Yeah. And we have that technically as a hunter ornament now.
Yeah. Which is sweet.
Last season or the season before, I can't remember, but yeah, it looks really cool. All right, next up.
Do you want a more thought-provoking one or another semi-easy one?
Man, you rapid fire these, bro.
All right, so let's do a bit of a one a little more thought-provoking. Shaders.
Ooh.
Should they stay the same the way they are now, or should Destiny finally open it up to allowing you to customize every color on your weapons and armor, excluding exotics because they have to, sell ornaments? But to give you an idea, what if every piece of armor had a region, where it's like, oh, there's like 5 or 6 region points on the armor.
Yeah.
This weapon has like 5 or 6 region points. What if you could customize each part of it to give a unique?
I'm gonna give you a couple answers there. First one, right off the rip. More customization is never a bad thing. That's always a good thing. We all know that is the true end game of Destiny 2 content.
Glamour is the way to go.
Fashion, glamour, the glitz. Being able to do that would be great. You'd be able to go with that true black, because we can never seem to get that for some reason. We always seem to get shaders that are white, black, blue, and maybe a little bit of gray. And for some reason you put it on and hey, here's a big old red spot for no reason.
Right?
Yeah. Like Jacarina. Jacarina has no blue on it, but it has blue whenever you equip it.
Yeah. Or that helmet for the warlocks from what is it? You just talked about it. It's the oh gosh, it starts with a P, the Presage? Not the Presage. It's the other one. The one where you have to go what is the name of that dungeon? It looks like Gundam armor.
Oh, from the Prophecy.
It's pink. Prophecy. There it is. Oh my gosh.
The Moonfang armor.
Yeah, so the Moonfang armor. The Warlock helmet, I've tried every shader. That horn stays white. It does not change. No matter what shader you put on it, it will never change colors. It's considered a dead zone. Yeah. It's really dumb.
answer number two, regarding exotics. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I think that ornaments should be exclusively like weapon altering. There's so many ornaments that you know as well as I do are just palette changes, palette swaps.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
no, give us an ornament, to be able to change the look of a weapon, and then yeah, sure, let
Mm-hmm.
us let us let us change the color ourselves. Whatever, I don't care. That'd be great.
Yeah.
I don't see any reason why we can't. Um, and it's already in the game because whenever you went to go look at a shader, if you had an exotic equipped in your kinetic slot, that's the weapon that you're holding whenever you're looking at
Mm-hmm.
that character. If you're holding an
It
exotic
would
weapon,
change colors.
Suros, Jade Rabbit, whatever, and you equipped a shader, you go to your shader screen or you look at the shader, inspect it or whatever, it shows your whole character, including the exotic weapon. So
I
it's
think it does it for
already
every primary.
anything that's in your kinetic slot that you have equipped,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
whatever exotic it is. So I think that is something again already in the game officially. It's
yeah.
there.
They just have to turn it on.
Right, right. Bloodbane says it would be very hard for them. They didn't even know what to do with masterwork part of the weapons.
That's true.
That is very true. And and we've said this before many times up until this point, they're getting more funds. They're branching out. They're doing a lot more
Mm-hmm.
things right now. I think that we'll get to a point where maybe, hopefully, they can do something like that. I'm
Yeah,
hopefully optimistic, but at the same time, I'm also a realist. and
yeah, and there's no shortage of content creators out there who have kind of talked about what the future of the game might look like, with Sony giving them a blank check and just saying, make the game good. We're going to start seeing more and more of those changes, and we've talked about this a lot over the last several episodes. Just Destiny has really been trying to find their identity, and they're finally coming out of their shell.
yeah,
It's definitely heading in the RPG route. Well, RPGs, glamour is endgame, and creating your own armors, having layered sets, having more color patterns. These are things that games that are pushing into those endgame scenarios allow you to do. We've already seen the universal ornament sets, and they're becoming way more available. And even Xur, like I didn't know today, you could go buy Xur's, go buy the old Gambit armor,
yeah.
the red stuff with the snake on it. Like, that's cool. That was an armor set I never got my hands on, so that I went and bought the whole set. Just to kind of scoop up all that little bit of glamour, even if I'm never going to use it, it's there. So,
Heck yeah,
but yeah,
heck yeah.
I'm hoping they do more of that kind of stuff in the future. Because yeah, I would love a true black or a true white, or just when I was writing that question, the thought that popped into my head was, what if you got a blank shader, and that shader you could put whatever colors you want in any color region, and then you just apply it. Because maybe the limitations are, oh well, your armor set is already like this. So if you had the option of all the different colors, you just put them into one and then put it on your character.
Potentially.
But yeah,
Shaders are
it's
definitely
something.
a simplified version, a simplified way for them to do it.
Oh yeah,
That,
and it's a
so
way of them making money.
yeah. Well,
Because there was the
right.
two shaders that were locked behind the silver store. No, there was two specifically for Vault of Glass. If you completed Vault of
That's
Glass, you had to
right.
buy a pack that came with some universal
It came with
Synthoweaves,
came with
but
the
it came with
Smith
two
class
shaders.
ornament. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
All right. Would you make any changes to GMs, and if so, what would they be?
personally, I would like to see more unique modifiers. Um, because we have modifiers in there now that really, they encapsulate team play to a certain degree. So like if you play a normal Nightfall and there's togetherness, that does not happen in Grandmasters because that is way too difficult to do. Having the entire team stick together the entire time is a bit much, and for the right reasons, they've moved that away from it. Um, Harmony could honestly be, that's a perk for a weapon, but that could be a cool perk for a team. I would like to see perks that buff, but in the same time they also nerf. So, like you were talking about earlier, when we did Proving Grounds.
Mm-hmm.
It was almost a necessity to run back in the day. You had to have Ursa Furiosas and something that could damage the whole room. What if they said, okay, Grandmaster is this, and by beating it, you get the rewards. Well, what if you met certain challenges? What if it was a guarantee that you got a weapon drop? If you met this criteria, then you could do it. All right, let's say, what if you get into the Grandmaster and it's like, okay, so here's the loadout for the week. Here's what the meta teams are running. Here's everything you got to do. What if you had to use a subclass that was negative affinity?
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to make that work? Well, there are other perks, there are other weapon combinations. You could make it work, but if you completed that, you were then compensated for the extra effort.
Mm.
Would make it a bit more challenging. It would change up metas. It would make every time you walked into those things a unique experience.
Yeah.
Now, you'd have to limit that. You'd have to limit, like, okay, hey, you beat this Grandmaster this week. Not only did you get your pinnacle, you got the extra reward. Well, you can't do that again until the following week.
Right.
And honestly, maybe you do like a bunch of minor stuff and then it gives you the full one. So you have to run the Grandmaster multiple times to get all that, because you don't have to do it all at once. You could run 1 or 2 challenges where it's like, oh, hey, use a solar weapon this week. Well, it's all arc affinity or void. Yeah, run 1 solar weapon. Okay. Your whole team has to run a matching subclass. Okay. But just little challenges here and there to give you an overall reward. I feel like that would make it more engaging for players who have been playing for a long time, who have experienced the power creep of the game, who are always looking for those meta sets, who are always grinding out, who have those things that just make it a breeze. Change up a few things, and then bang, it becomes a challenge for the players again. You don't have to do it, but the drive for extra loot might push you to go do those things, Yeah. That's what I would think. That's what I would change. I feel like that might be
that's good.
A fun time.
Blood says, everybody crying. GMs are easier now. That's a no. We have more powerful abilities now, and how about a higher difficulty above GM? And I don't know if you've seen Astacross's video that he did this week when GMs went live. Him and his crew that he always does this with Les and whoever the other one is. They went through. They did all 6 of the GMs back to back, knocked them all out super quick, got them all done on their first try. And he commented on it. He said, yeah, these are like super easy now, but
yeah,
I don't think it's as simple as making a higher difficulty above GMs. I think they just need to do a better job of scaling GM difficulty.
Right. And honestly, go ahead.
I was just going to say the modifiers you're talking about are a great way to do that.
Yeah.
You like here's one, and I know this sounds crazy. Just hear me out whenever I say this. We have, I can't remember which one it is where we have to be. Is it togetherness? Is that what it's called? Where we have to?
Yeah, togetherness. I actually, it was funny. I mentioned that you took your headset off and you walked away.
Yeah, no, I couldn't remember what it was called.
Oh, you kind of heard it.
Togetherness. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like he had mentioned, what if there was a modifier that instead of being closer together, if you were close together, you took more damage, and then you were forced to be further apart, which would make being inside of a well or maybe a bubble would be okay, I'd say, but like something like that would be more difficult, or
you all couldn't hide behind the same piece of cover.
Right, you can't. Yeah, exactly. Or just in general, just like all of the ads are carrying heavy weapons instead of light weapons.
Yeah,
something like that. Each strike has its own modifier in that it's got like some kind of weird boss modifier. But they're all the same modifier. They just affect that boss. Change those up, shake it up a bit, and then every week whenever the GM drops, it doesn't matter if it's the same GM that's already dropped, it'll be different. A little bit different, a little bit more difficult. He says,
because honestly,
you go ahead. I'll read it afterwards.
I was gonna say, honestly, you could even have, like, back in Destiny 1 days, they would have Taken sprinkled into every single strike right after the Taken was released.
Yeah.
It was because they were unpredictable. They could be anywhere. What if a modifier was just surprise attack? during your Grandmaster or during the strike, there was a random chance that in every single encounter, reinforcements can show up of any variety, or
In
like you can call it the strike team or something.
in Destiny 2 even, I think it was only in the regular strike playlist that we had, but they
Hmm.
used to do that. What it would be is you would go through the strike, and while the boss fight would be the same, sometimes the path to the path might be the same, but it'd be maybe different
Yeah,
ads or
there'd be like
whatever.
different enemies and stuff. Yeah,
You would have different interactions with the NPCs over the air, the way they talked and
yeah,
communicated would have different things. Um,
because they did that one a lot during the what is it called?
Pyramidian, that one was different.
Yeah, the Pyramidian was definitely one of those ones because it had multiple different like lingering
Mm-hmm.
paths. But I'm talking what was the everyone hated it because it was the exact same thing. Um, on Mercury with Osiris, the forest,
Oh, the one with the
the Infinite
cabal,
Forest.
yeah, yeah.
Well, there was
Basically
two
the same
different
thing.
strikes there. There was the one that was like the mind.
Mm-hmm.
There was a Vex, and there was one for the Cabal on the bottom.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, if that strike, the only unique part of that was you going through the Infinite Forest
Mm-hmm.
because each of those platforms could randomly spawn at any time.
Yeah.
Each one of them had random enemies on it, and that made sense
Yeah.
because it was an infinite forest. It was a simulation. It could hurt you, but just like a portal open up and then bang, here comes a Cabal dropship, or oh no, here come Fallen, or just any of them. They could show up at any time.
Mm-hmm.
Because in Destiny 1 it was the Taken, but then also anyone else who occupied that planet at the time could drop in from any time.
Right.
Um, which I thought was a nice touch.
Yeah. Same.
But yeah, no, as far as like for Grandmasters, I think the difficulty is fine where it's at. We're just again, and Astacross said it best, we're experiencing power
Power
creep.
creep.
Bungie had said that they were going to move away from abilities and start moving into more gunplay.
Okay.
Yeah, that works. But at the same time, it was shortly after that they announced, we're going to be upgrading all the subclasses. And I think that's because Stasis was overperforming. It's way easier to ship something out that's overpowered and broken
Mm-hmm.
than it is to ship something out with no power because you're not getting playtests with something with no power. Lawrence Driver is a monster, and it was even worse when it first came out. But that being said, people were using it constantly and abusing it. They had numbers that they could go in and regularly adjust. If you release something that is so underwhelming, no one's going to touch that, and you're not going to get playtest numbers. It is way easier to release something that is incredibly strong and help sell your launch
Mm-hmm.
to then adjust further down the road.
Yeah.
All the subclasses we're getting now that are super buffed, I'm gonna put a wager out there. Um, I think next year for Destiny, we're gonna get serious nerfs to all of our supers, and all the guns are gonna get upgraded, and we're gonna see a huge meta change
Imagine this. Imagine
next
this,
year.
if you will. Imagine this. An
Mhm.
expansion. We're gonna call it Lightfall.
Yeah. See,
Almost,
your light goes away.
almost as if we're gonna lose all of our abilities or something.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I think that that's
Just
kind of what they're
simplified
shaping up
versions.
for. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And
Definitely.
again, shipping everything out powerful to then throttle it backwards
Right.
is definitely a good thing. Because honestly, if you give everybody a taste of that sweet, sweet power,
Mm-hmm.
and then you kind of pull it away, it makes weapon crafting a lot more viable. It makes
And
running those raids and those dungeons way more viable to get those weapons. So,
yeah, I think so. And Blood said it. He said people always find a way. Yeah, yeah, that's exactly right. So
and they just spam the abilities. I've seen Plunder's latest vid, and only two of them on Titan.
yeah,
Yeah, and this is, I think they're trying to get away from that. I think that's why they're trying to nerf it, but they really do need to bring the other subclasses into line with stasis, and then they can start working on all that. But yeah, all right. So next question goes to Legend. Man, we've only gotten like two questions apiece, and we're almost at 7 o'clock.
We're trucking along now.
So, you asked me the last one, right?
Yes, I asked you
GMs, because you asked me about GMs. Okay. How do you feel about the balance of the game overall? That one is a lot to unpack. But as far as, well, I'll shape it down for you because we talk about this pretty frequently.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like PvE is balanced in the way that PvE is balanced? Because the majority of this game is considered PvE, right? PvP is a small portion of that. Do you feel like PvP gets the same attention that it PvE gets, or do you think it's more or less in different areas?
It certainly does not get the same attention that PvE gets.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I'm fine with that. As we've said before, this is primarily a PvE game. And I think that the
Yeah.
focus should be there. I do think that they do need to do something to cater to the people. And I made a video about this last week. I put
Mm-hmm.
up. I went over like the details of the poll that I ran on YouTube or on Twitter. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I think that they need to do a little bit more to cater to the true PvP players, because that is a group of people that will go and play something else. The people that enjoy the PvE in this game, they're going to continuously come back to play the PvE in this game. They're going to come play it. They're going to go
Mm-hmm.
play the raids. They're going to go do the strikes, the nightfalls, all of that. But the PvP community, there's 101 different games out there for them to go play.
Oh yeah.
And they absolutely will. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen many times. So, specifically, I think they need to look at competitive. Either look at it and do something with it, or take it away entirely and devote that attention towards revamping trials,
Mm-hmm.
giving us, a better structure to our trial stuff. Um, and maybe taking competitive away, maybe that would enhance the playlist for everything else. I think the one thing that competitive has going for it is it's always there 24/7. It's always a thing that anybody can go do anytime they want to get on. Trials, of course, only on the weekends, and that's
Right.
only on weekends when we don't. I think Iron Banner is the only thing that stops that.
Right.
But even then, beginning of the seasons, we don't have trials for a few
Mm-hmm.
weeks. So
Yeah, it can get everybody get their
yeah,
feet wet.
yeah. I think that so far as PVE goes, the balancing, I mean, it is a PVE game, and I think people that haven't accepted that probably should at some point, considering
Right.
that that's kind of what this is. I mean,
The primary of everything is PvE.
right,
Yes.
right. So I don't have any problem with it being a PVE game, and I
Right.
got
Right.
on today and I did a bunch of stuff and had a great time doing it, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of based that question off of the fact that you did just dropped your last
Mm-hmm.
video, and not everyone watches those, but you have such insight when it comes to that level of things because you're very passionate about it, but you're also pretty mild tempered when it comes to certain things. You're not going to go out of your way to like shove something in someone's face,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, you give a very unique perspective where it's like I'm a hardcore PvP player,
Yeah.
but this isn't a PvP game.
Right.
But the core of it for you is PvP. Like that's so I like your insight on that kind of stuff, and that's why I asked the question that way. So cool.
All right. Now we're moving on for you. It's going to be a little bit of a lighter question.
All right.
Design a warlock exotic.
Okay. We're talking weapon, a weapon or armor.
Warlock exotic, not
Got
weapon.
it. Okay. Well, I mean, we had the
Armor.
Torzetto, or whatever it's called. Yeah. Okay. Uh, gosh, that's a good one. So here, I'm thinking. I like, I like specific warlock pieces where it's like, hey, if you run Devour, these boots are going to do this for you. Well, if you don't run Devour, these boots are going to give you Devour. That's great. I honestly wished it carried over into other subclasses, not just you have to run Void to get that. There's better options out there.
What was that? The
If it let
secant filaments or whatever, is that what they're called?
whatever the newest one was, I can't remember. Honestly, if those pair of boots gave me Devour on any subclass, top tier in my immediately top tier. But I like static exotics. Nezarec Sin has always been hands down my favorite exotic in the game because no matter what you're running, subclass, anything, it works. It generates super energy, gets you back to that faster, and there are ways to play around with other stuff. If I'm playing Void, I'm running the gauntlet, the gauntlets that let me charge up my grenades faster. Controverse holds. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm running Solar, I'm usually running Boots of the Assembler. If I'm running Arc, it used to be Transversive Steps. Now, sometimes Crown of Tempest, sometimes the Getaway Artist, and sometimes it's, I forget the name. This one always eludes me. It's chess piece, Stormrazor's Embrace. Gives you that extra energy, all the extra damage on kills with it. But all the time, if I'm going to use an exotic going into a new season or something, I want something that works with everything. I run Nezrex because Nezrex works with my weapon loadout, not my other stuff.
Right.
So designing a static exotic for a warlock, I would probably say I would probably give up. Here's what I would do. It would be a pair of gloves or a chest piece. You know what? No, it would be a helmet because helmets, everything for the warlock is connected to the mind, right?
Right.
So what if this helmet allowed you to give up other abilities because it's connected to your mind? If you give up your melee, it gave you an extra overbar in your super. Like an extra like 15 or 25%. If you gave up your grenade, it gave you an overshield on your health bar. And if you gave up your rift, it made your abilities recharge faster. And you could call it mind over matter or mind over body. And you had to manually go in, and you could only do one, but it would be like kind of how
Aeons.
the Aeons are. You could socket in what you want to give up, and by giving it up, you gained the buff. Either to your super, to your health, or to overall just regeneration for everything. And maybe your over regeneration is a little too strong, but I feel like that would be a nice trade-off because think about it: whenever a Titan puts down a barricade, overshield. Whenever warlocks put the rift downs, they get increased health regeneration. Whenever hunters go invisible, like you can't touch them, they're fast, and a lot of their abilities get their stuff back faster. So this would then be mind over matter or mind over body.
Sure.
This would allow you to get that stuff back quickly. Or there'd have to be some other kind of penalty, but honestly, giving up an entire ability can be very worth it. And maybe for the super part, not even giving you an overbar, maybe like to overclock your super, maybe it's just you no longer have to fill up 100% of your super bar. You can cast your super at 75%.
Okay.
And you lose that if it goes to full. So if you don't use it, you're losing it. Like, It doesn't matter. Like, if you don't cast it right at 75%, you're losing out on the maximum potential of being able to cast that Nova Bomb or be able to use your super or drop a well. If you're the kind of person who sits on your super, then this maybe not be good for you. But for people who are constantly moving and doing things, you could do this. This exotic would be locked out of PvP. 100%. 100%. This would not be allowed. Because it would get nerfed immediately, and that I feel like this would be a sick exotic. And you know what else would be cool? Every time you change like the socket of the mod, it did something different to the helmet, right?
Okay, different.
Like you have, so like for your health bar, it could be like a headband that goes over your eyes, because you're not looking toward. Oh no, because it could be for like your super. And like one would go over like your ears or something, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. Like that could be like that. It could be kind of funny. There's a couple fun designs for it, but like I mean, that honestly would be a sick exotic.
Interesting.
Yeah. All of that was off the top of my head. I did not have that planned at all.
Considering we are 50 minutes in, I'm gonna say let's do it 5 instead of 10. 5 apiece.
All right.
So pick your final 2.
Okay.
And
Well, I have I'm about to ask you one, so I'll have one more after this.
you're good.
All right. So what about um? Hang on.
We can save the other 5 for
Other
another
page.
podcast.
Yeah, I'm down for that. Especially if everyone enjoys this kind of stuff. Like
Yeah,
honestly,
yeah.
I would love to see one where they ask us questions and
Oh
we go
yeah.
through and answer them together. Um, kind of around the similar lines because I actually have this written down. But honestly, you could do it differently if you wanted to. Um, if you could bring back any exotic, and no, this does not apply to Twilight Garrison Blood. If you could bring back any exotic from D1, what would it be? 100% RAM, by the way. Um, it's a cool design for a helmet. But if you could bring back any exotic from D1 into Destiny 2, what would it be?
Oh god. And we're talking armor or weapon.
Armor, weapon, whatever you want. And it doesn't have to be for Hunter. It could literally be for any class.
Yeah. It's probably going to be a weapon.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Yeah. Well, I tried.
Well, I tried.
Yeah, you know that's.
They said no. They said
They
no.
said no. They did. You know, it's so funny because so many of the hunter exotics have been brought back. There was what was that one? Was it Bones of Ao, the ones that gave you the third
Yeah.
jump? Don't need that. You know, there were
Radiant Dance Machines got brought
Radiant
back.
Dance Machines are back. Yeah. It's probably going to be a weapon, just because that's
Blood said Ruin Wings.
ruin wing. Ooh. That's a good one.
He's looking.
I
He's
am
looking for
looking.
one.
I am looking. Is that there were?
There was a lot of like really good weapons in D1. Um, bring back Bones. I'm rioting.
You know, I might be wrong about that. I might be wrong about
Because
that.
Red Death was a fun pulse rifle, and it got turned into the hand cannon. Crimson. Ace of Spades was a cool gun that was specifically only for hunters, and that's actually why I made a hunter.
Yeah.
And that got brought back for everybody. Yes, the Tylock, that was a great weapon, especially for people who like to hold on to all their abilities. That thing was insanely good.
There's a good one too.
There was
Yeah.
two different versions. There was two more different versions of Thunderlord, the Void one and the Solar one, which were kind of underwhelming, honestly.
Yeah, Thunderlord was the best one. I would have to say, just because I don't think that there's a whole lot of variety so far as sniper rifles go with exotics.
Yeah.
I would probably have to say, and I know it sounds crazy, but I'd probably have to say Icebreaker.
Yeah.
I would probably
Good
have
old
to say
Icebreaker.
Icebreaker was cool, and I think you could do some things, especially now that we have stasis in the game. I think there's some cool things you could do with it now, because that's one thing we've seen. Whenever they bring weapons back from Destiny 1 or exotic armor or whatever, they tend to change them up a bit, because otherwise they would either be too powerful or just
underwhelming.
Or underwhelming, yeah.
Yeah.
There was a hunter exotic. It was arms, and I can't remember what they were called. But whenever you got meleeed by anything in PvE or PvP, you went invisible. And it was very brief invisibility. I can't remember what they're called. I remember they were arms, but yeah, it was very interesting.
Nice.
And it made doing Nightfalls a lot easier.
Oh yeah, for sure.
for reasons. Zen Meteor, Patience and Time is another good one.
I like Zen Meteor though.
The thing about Patience and Time is it's in the game.
Don't touch me.
Don't touch me. Yes, that's it. Thank you. Heck yeah, man. You know what you're talking about. Patience and Time is in the game. Freaking what's his name has it at the EDZ. He's got it. He's had it this entire time.
Yeah, he just won't share.
He just won't share. Yeah, I
That
think
that was a missed opportunity
that was a missed
at the end
opportunity.
of your tutorial. You should have
Hmm.
got patience at the time.
Yeah, yeah. Now here's what I'm gonna say. I think bring back Icebreaker,
Hmm.
and I think that you make it just as effective as it was before. It could regenerate the ammo. However,
Yeah.
it is significantly less powerful. I'm talking about having to like two shot everything.
Yeah.
You can't even headshot anything with it. Now, let's say being it's called Icebreaker. Let's say it's let's give it something kind of like we have with kind of like the system that we have with Mythoclast, where
Yeah.
getting solar kill, any kind of solar kills. I don't care if it's with that or if it's with your subclass or whatever. You
Hmm.
get a solar kill, it adds to a charge. Get another solar kill, adds to a charge, and then you can consume those charges to make one better shot. Right? Does that make sense?
Hmm. Okay.
So you get kills with it
Yeah.
to charge the weapon up, and then you can use that to get a headshot kill or something like that, if
Okay.
that makes sense.
Well, what if they take the two different ideas here, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if it worked with the perks that stasis has, where stasis is required on, freezing, shattering, and slowing? What if something was frozen, then it did crit damage, no matter where you hit
Okay,
it on the body?
sure,
So if
sure.
the target was frozen, it could kill them and cause an explosion,
Mm-hmm.
because that's its idea. Icebreaker, you're breaking
Shooting a
through the ice.
frozen target will kill them.
Yeah, or grant bonus damage.
Sure.
So you can do that, and let's tie the ammo regeneration to that.
Mm-hmm.
Get X amount of kills with it, consume it, it gives you ammo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, that's fair.
Or strip it completely of its like base element, make it a primary sniper rifle, and you have to get X amount of solar kills to charge the weapon.
I thought about making it a kinetic, like not a kinetic, but I guess making it a primary weapon.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
then I thought, then wouldn't it just be a scout rifle? Um,
Well, no, because if you keep it, you could honestly go above and beyond here. Keep it as a solar weapon.
mm-hmm.
Keep it a special weapon, but you have to get solar kills to build up the ammo.
Yeah.
It does not get ammo from you
Okay.
picking up special bricks, right?
Sure.
So that means you are 100% reliant on your super, your heavy, and your primary to get those kills.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning you'd have to have an osmosis um, kinetic weapon that you would then have to run a solar
Or
subclass to do.
or make it a kinetic weapon. Make it a kinetic
Yeah.
weapon,
So
or make it a stasis weapon. I don't care. Make it a stasis
yeah,
weapon, and
yeah,
then you have to get solar kills to do the thing.
to charge it.
There
Yeah,
you go.
that
I
could be
like
fun.
that. I like that.
Yeah. So nice.
Yeah, icebreaker, and it's
Cool.
cheesy.
I
But
like it.
I like it. Don't touch me.
No, that's good.
Thank you. Thank you, blood. You to go.
Blood said he was an OG hunter back in the day of Destiny 1.
All right, this is gonna be a thinker.
All right, go for it.
We know that Bungie is working on some other content so
Hmm.
far as the Destiny universe is going.
Right.
What other kind of game would you like to see alongside Destiny in the Destiny universe?
So I thought about this for a minute, and this honestly was brought up on somebody made. I'm a huge Dungeons and Dragons fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
I actually used to write D&D campaigns and characters for different groups, and actually I'm a part of a bunch of that kind of stuff where I'll write out a character for them, or I'll design something, and every now and then I'll voice it too. That's just something I enjoy doing. Um, Somebody who took all of Dungeons and Dragons 5e
Mm-hmm.
and turned Destiny into a Dungeons and Dragons campaign. They went through and they listed out everything in the player handbook
Oh man.
into Destiny. They took all of the Destiny content and made it into, and it's really cool. It's actually on a PDF that's available for everybody. Actually, I know a TWAB covered it sometime last year or the year before. Fantastic, really good read. Um, but essentially, like, you got to pick your race, and you were a guardian. So you could be a Cabal blade dancer,
Oh.
an 800-pound Cabal with tusks that would just go invisible is terrifying.
I'm imagining this thing with freaking radiant dance machines on, just flipping and rolling everywhere.
Terrifying. So the
God.
other cool aspect of that brought up a lot of questions, and I was even asking our friends this too, it made you choose a subclass and you were locked into it. You could not change it.
Right.
So when you started and made your character, not only did you have to pick a subclass, you had to pick a subcategory to that subclass. And it wasn't until you hit like level 5, level 10, level 15 could you broaden out into the other categories. If you wanted to, you could even break out and make a hybrid class. You could go Blade Dancer with Golden Gun.
So just like D&D or like Warhammer, which is another great game, you started off, you designed your character, you have your character. That character is locked in. If you start playing a game with that character, okay, you can make other characters to play the game with at a different point in time, but this is that character.
But it was honestly really cool, and it was a tabletop kind of game. You know, it was fun to read through, and actually, I thought about running a campaign on it, but it was just a lot. And then we got pregnant, and now we have a son. That being said, I think that could do very well on its own as far as a medium is concerned, because Destiny has a lot of stuff they could offer. I actually would like to see, I would like to see a game, or even just like a movie about the Iron Lords. If Bungie, if you are listening, I'm gonna
and we know you are.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna have everyone leaning really close. It's really important. I need to tell you guys this. Do not make it live action, and do not give it bad 3D CGI.
Just make it animated at this point in time.
2D anime style.
The guy that
and make it amazing.
The guy that makes the Castlevania anime. Get him. That's the most beautiful anime.
Yes. Do that. Make that a thing. And honestly, you could do Tales from Destiny. And you could have episodes where it's literally them building the tower. You can have stories of the Iron Lords. You could have stories of the Great Collapse. You could have a 4-part like mini-series about the Twilight Gap, where literally everyone in the universe of Destiny talks about the collapse. And everyone, like Drifter, every time you load into a Gambit match, he's like, yeah, I was there for the collapse. So was my grandma. Like, people have been there. That is a rich story that they could tell.
So much lore.
That they allude to on a regular basis, but they just don't. There is so much in this Destiny universe that's locked behind grimoire cards, little lore books, and that's all fine. And I like that kind of stuff, because even with Dark Souls, the story is there if you want to find it. There's lots of fan theories out there, but the story is there. And there are people, especially content creators, who will go through and they pull every piece of lore together. And they can tell you a comprehensive story that makes you feel bad about slaughtering that dragon. Really fast, in Dark Souls 3, there is a group called the Undead Horde, or Undead Legion. They are considered one of the Lords of Cinder. They are there solely to prevent the darkness from escaping. Okay, when you find them, they're killing each other. And the guy who turns and fights you eventually succumbs to darkness himself in his second form to fight you. You are tasked with killing them. During your fight with them in the first phase, 2 more of them rise up. One of them partners with you and helps take out the others. During the second phase, you were only fighting one of them. You later find out in the story, by reading through the descriptions of their armor and their weapons, that they were tasked by the king to lock away the dungeon that you barged into, to prevent the darkness from leaking out into this kingdom and into this town. They were the last line of defense. You don't know that as the player walking into that situation. You just see a bunch of dudes killing each other, and there's just dozens of bodies all over the floor. But because of the way the story goes in Dark Souls, they're being resurrected to come and perform a task but their primary task was to defend a village that they don't know is gone. So they're staying in a room, killing each other because they're getting woken up, then corrupted, and then the ones that wake up after them kill them. And they're locked in this cycle until you, the player, comes through and kills them. And you have no idea that was happening. It's just a cool mechanic in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But you can read about it. You can then discover that. And Destiny has really great lore that we could explore if they did a comic book, graphic novels, animated movies, animated TV series.
Even books?
Yeah. Just anything. There is a vast hunger to expand this world through all of the fans. If they would start shifting some of those resources that they're now getting into that kind of stuff, I would love to see that. Caveat: if they make a movie, it better not be live action. Yeah. Second caveat: it better be quality animated because Sony's bankrolling it. Third caveat: you keep the same gosh dang voice actors because if you don't, you're going to have a ton of angry fans.
Ooh.
Fourth caveat: don't go with this new trend of trying to reach an audience that doesn't play your game. Halo
that's a big one.
Ruined that.
Yeah.
Halo is a franchise that people... I'm a huge PlayStation fan.
Yeah, Bungie, you
I've played Halo. Yeah. That whole series crashed and burned, and the game is crashing and burning. When they came out and said, we're going to do this movie or this TV series, you know what they did? They immediately... First off, the fight scenes are horrendously bad. They had Master Chief take his helmet off every single episode.
And get naked.
And it's not the same stuff anymore. Like, there are books about Halo. There are stories of Halo. There is so much lore, like how Star Wars is. And the 3 newest Star Wars movies ruined the series.
Yeah.
Kenobi had some good moments. That's all I have to say about it. The other mediums that have come before this new stuff have been phenomenal. Destiny has a chance here to drop and create new content that hasn't come out yet for a game that is their passion project that they could really work on. All they have to do is just nail that execution with the passion behind it, even if it's not really well done, even if the animation is shoddy. If you keep the same passion behind it, the fans will appreciate it, regardless of how it looks. If you come out with the right voice actors, with the same voice actors, with the same story, and just to try to expand upon that world and do it the right way, no matter how it comes out, the fans are going to receive it well because we're hungry for it. We're willing. You can overlook something bad if you're desperate for it. Like, if you're hungry enough, you can eat a not, well done steak. If you want a steak, you want a steak regardless. You don't care how it's cooked. If you're hungry, you're willing to eat, within reason, most things. If you're thirsty, you're willing to drink, again, most things. If you want a snack, you're willing to snack on most things. You're willing to overlook small details. Now, not saying you should overlook the small details because a show like Castlevania got it right. There was a lot of really great stuff in there and throwbacks to the old games. Gosh, Ratchet and Clank did it. Ratchet and Clank had little bits of story from every single one of their games in their newest game. Phenomenal. If Destiny does something like that, or a show, a book, some comics, I'd be in there. I'll be there first in line. So, long answer, but there it is.
What's your final question for me?
Okay. Let's see. I had one, and then I went on a rant.
This better be a good one, I swear.
It was going to be a really simple one.
Sniper says the new Berserk anime, very horrible CGI, but the story is great. The Berserk anime, if you're talking about like the Golden Age
No, he's talking
No, no,
about
you're talking about the actual
Berserk
anime,
2016. Yeah,
2016.
they
Yeah,
ruined it.
yeah, they did.
They ruined it.
They
Sword sounds like a frying pan. The voice actors are all different. It's terrible.
So yeah, if I'm correct, the 2016 anime, it's the events. It's basically everything that happens after the Golden Age films, right? After he's already
Yes and no.
okay.
So, so Golden Age arc happens, right?
Yeah.
And then there's a brief period of time where he doesn't have Casca
Uh-huh.
and hasn't been able to find her yet,
Yeah.
and doesn't have the Dragon Slayer sword yet. He still
Okay.
has his
Okay. That's
other
right. That's
sword.
right. That's right. Yes, I'm
So
tracking.
then he
Yep.
goes off and does a bunch of stuff.
That's right.
What happens after that, when he gets the Dragon Slayer and he gets his new mechanical arm, that is when the 2016 picks up.
Yep. Yeah. No, you're
Um,
exactly right. Decent story, but yeah, I mean they did mess up a lot of stuff though.
oh yeah, but okay. So here's my question for
Oh
you:
yes, yes.
Sparrow Racing League, bring it back, or something else like that? What would you do? If you didn't bring back Sparrow Racing League, what would you bring back? What would you make as an extra avenue of content?
There's a lot of things they could do to make additional content. For example, The Witcher has Gwent. It was so fun inside of the game of Witcher 3 that they made it a standalone game.
Yeah.
You could download on your mobile phone and or even on PC, I believe, and that was very cool. Had its own cards, all its own characters, tons of cards, tons of characters.
Yeah.
Very cool thing. You could do something very simple like that. They could add some mini games to the tower that would make it fun and it'd make it a nice
Yeah.
place to to be, to hang out with your friends or whatever. Give you some ways to do some different things. That being said, Sparrow Racing League is tried and true.
Mhm.
And I'm just gonna say it. Don't fix what ain't broken. It
Yeah.
was good. Bring it back the way it was before. Sniper, I see what you're saying. Bring it back. They need to do Sparrows 2.0. That's an interesting thing, an interesting thought, because we have Ghost 2.0. We have armor, weapon. This could be considered weapons 3.0 at this point in time. Oh no, we're good.
It says live
Okay.
on my end. Yeah.
Yeah, we're still going. Okay, I don't know why I did that. Yeah, no, Sparrow Racing was great. I was pretty good at it. I don't know what's going on. Okay, well, we'll finish it up here pretty quick. Uh-oh.
Number 17.
Yeah,
Yep. I just cut down both of us.
bring
Yeah.
Sparrow Racing League back. Just bring it back.
There we go.
Yep.
Easy. All right. Well, this has been a lot of fun. Honestly, I really enjoyed writing these questions, and I actually really enjoyed answering them too. Um, let's do this again. Maybe every 10 episodes or so.
Yeah.
If there's something like heavy going on.
Let's just say once a month.
Yeah, I like that.
Once a month. Just do. Some
And then if any of you in the Discord or in the comment section want to ask us questions as well, please, we'd love to answer them. Honestly, this is a lot of fun. I enjoyed doing this and drinking. It was good.
Send questions. Ask them on Discord. And then next time we can jump in and answer your questions too, and ask them. Pick up, open ended for both of us to answer, or oh, Dunderdome, you're just now tuning in, bro. We're wrapping up, man.
Dang it.
Oh man, I'm so sorry. We've been going for an hour and 15 minutes now. It was a good episode though you missed, and but it'll be live.
Yeah.
You'll be able to go back and watch it if you would like to. But yeah, ask your questions on the Discord server. Open-ended for both of us, or be personal. Ask us, not personal, but
Yeah.
about the game would be great. But ask it to direct it. But yeah, long day at work.
Alright.
I hear you, bro. Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to hop off of here and go get the kids in the pool, because
Yep,
they
my son needs a
are
bath.
crazy.
Anyway, I've been Batsam, Legend of Xcalion, Speaker Podcast number 17. Guys, have a good night, and we'll talk to you later.
Godspeed, my friends.